Hello and a very good afternoon. It's 1 p.m. It's time for Verdict 2015 right here on Rajya Sabha Television with me, Frank Pereira. Let's begin with today's Verdict headlines. Election Commission bans two controversial advertisements by the BJP, calls them inflammatory. EC also seeks an explanation from the BJP President Amit Shah over his firecrackers comment. Grand Alliance had complained to the EC that it was an attempt to communalize the polls. BJP has denied the allegations. Home Minister Rajnath Singh speaks exclusively to Rajya Sabha Television, says his party is clearly in the lead and will win the Bihar polls comfortably. And we throw the spotlight on the Purnia Court railway station, which is still reeling from the effects of the floods in 2008. Once bustling with activity, the place is left desolate today. Well, the Election Commission has clamped a ban on publication of two controversial advertisements printed by the BJP in poll-bound Bihar. Election Commission, while calling the ads inflammatory, directed the Chief Electoral Officer of Bihar to ensure the ads were not published till the election process was over. The BJP had earlier this week released two advertisements in vernacular print media that the Election Commission found against the provisions of the Model Code of Conduct. One of the advertisements alleges the Mahagathbandhan of snatching the plate of Dalits by planning to transfer the quota meant for Dalits and EBCs to minorities. The other advertisement deals with vote bank politics, claiming that the RJD, JDU and Congress leaders are giving sanctuary to terrorists. The remaining two phases of the five-phase polls in the 16 out of 38 districts of Bihar are to be held on November 1st and 5th.
अमित शाह पर प्राथमिकी दर्ज हो, प्रधानमंत्री पर दर्ज हो, जिन्होंने इस तरह की इन्फ्लेमेटरी जो दिए हैं वहां पे विज्ञापन, उन पे मुकदमे दर्ज हो और भविष्य में आज के बाद कोई इस तरह का विज्ञापन न आए।
हम इसको बिहार के आवाम की जीत मानते हैं, तमाम गरीबों, दलित, पिछड़ों की जीत मानते हैं और सबसे बड़ी चीज हम कहें कि इलेक्शन कमीशन ने एक बार फिर से ये साबित किया है कि इस मुल्क में प्रजातंत्र को महफूज रखने में, ताकि वो इस तरह की जो अनर्गल डिस्कोर्स है, प्रपंड और पाखंड के आगे प्रजातंत्र को नुकसान ना हो, उस पर फिर से एक अपनी मोहर लगाई है।
Well, joining me for a chat this afternoon to talk about this is the news coordinator of the Telegraph, Sanjeev Verma. Very good afternoon and thank you for joining me on the program. You know, as far as the fourth and the fifth phase of polling is concerned, the first three phases we saw that the NDA and the BJP in particular keeping the focus on development. Suddenly there seems to be a change in, in the tactics as far as campaigning is concerned. Several of these ads have been put out in newspapers, and also we've seen it taking a communal tinge as such as far as the campaigning is concerned.
Of course, yes. Right from the beginning, if you see the Bihar election, right from the beginning, non-issues have become issues. First came the beef, then this reservation issue. I mean, no government is going to tinker with the reservation thing. It is certain, but the statement of Mohan Bhagwat and followed by RJD and JDU alliance grabbing the issue, racking up the reservation issue, and then this BJP is saying that reservation to backwards and Dalits would be reduced and would be given to a particular community. If you go into the base of the issue, reservation is there. It is there as per the constitutional law. But still, leaders are trying to encash the issue, and it is across the party line. The Grand Alliance is saying that backward reservation would be taken away. The BJP is saying that the backward reservation would be taken partially for the benefit of a section of community. And leaders of both the alliance know it very well that it is there, the reservation is there, and it would stay there for the backwards and the Dalits. But it has become an issue for reasons not very convincing. Going into this communal issue, again, BJP is no doubt is trying to communalize. Reason being, election is entering now into the fourth and fifth phase, and fifth phase seats have a substantial population of minority community. So BJP wants to galvanize the Hindus in its support. It appears to me.
Indeed, and talking about the fourth phase and the fifth phase of polling, 3 phases of polling have been completed already. Almost a little more than half the constituencies have already voted. There are about 112 seats remaining. Now, as far as these 112 seats are concerned, what's going to be different in the fourth and fifth phase of polling as compared to the previous 3 phases of polling?
Election-wise, there won't be any major change. But as far as the fourth phase is concerned, BJP is hoping to do well. Fifth phase is their weak link. One cannot deny that. So, because, minority votes are there and they are not supposed to vote for the NDA candidates. But for this, the issues are more or less the same. Some issues are being highlighted for garnering support. That's it.
And going forward, do you think that this particular campaign is only going to get a lot more murkier and the barbs are only going to increase, and then we're going to see some counter barbs as well from the Grand Alliance?
Yes, one cannot deny that. It is turning uglier, it is turning more acerbic with every passing day. One cannot deny that. Personal attacks are being made. The word Saitan, Brahm Pisach, and every kind of adjectives are being used against the leaders. So I don't know where would this fall stop.
Indeed.
But it is becoming ugly with every passing day.
All right, Sanjeev Verma, do stay with us. I'm going to come back to you on the other side of the short break to talk about some more stories that we're tracking here on Verdict 2015 as well. It's time for a short break now, but we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Today we will discuss the Supreme Court judgment on Section 66A and why it was struck down from the Information Technology Act.
I personally feel that 66A was a sword hanging on the heads of every citizen of this country.
Political dissent, informed views, high level of communication, which is the bedrock of an open and democratic society.
The funny thing is that new laws are being created to restrict our freedom as opposed to grant us greater freedom, which is what you would expect from a maturing society.
Watch Law of the Land, Sunday 10 p.m. and Monday 8:30 a.m. on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha television. Well, the Bihar Election Office has sought a report on BJP President Amit Shah's firecrackers in Pakistan comment after a complaint lodged against him by an RJD delegation. The State Election Office sought a report from the returning officer and district magistrates of East and West Champaran on the remark. JDU Congress and RJD partners in the Grand Secular Alliance had also knocked on the doors of the Election Commission against Shah in Delhi. Shah made that controversial comment at a rally in Raxaul in East Champaran. He is said to have repeated the same in another rally at Betia, headquarters of West Champaran district. East Champaran and West Champaran have 12 and 9 assembly seats respectively and would be going to the polls in the fourth phase on the 1st of November.
अमित शाह ने पूरे बिहारियों को पाकिस्तानी करार कर दिया। पूरा ये अमित शाह बोल दिया कि यहाँ जीतेंगे लालू नीतीश कुमार तो पाकिस्तान में पटाखे फूटेंगे। ये इतना बड़ा गंदा बात ही बोला है। लगातार कम्युनलाइज करने का, और ये जो बोला था, विज्ञापन निकाला था, हम लोगों ने प्रोटेस्ट किया, वो सब रोक लगा दिया गया इसके मामले में।
Well, let's take a look now at what led the Election Commission to seek a report on the BJP President's remark.
गलती से भी अगर भारतीय जनता पार्टी बिहार में हार गई तो जय पराजय तो बिहार में होगी, पटाखे पाकिस्तान में जाकर जलेंगे।
BJP chief Amit Shah's remark that there will be celebrations in Pakistan if his party loses the Bihar Assembly polls has been severely criticized by political rivals. Even his own party members were on the back foot when it came to defending their president.
पाकिस्तान में पटाखे छूटेंगे, जो राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष ने कहा।
देखिए, जो हमारे राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष ने कहा वो इस सोच के आधार पर कहा है कि जहां तक पाकिस्तान का प्रश्न है, भारत ने बराबर अपनी तरफ से कोशिश की है कि पाकिस्तान हमारा पड़ोसी देश है, उसके साथ हमारे रिश्ते बेहतर हों। लेकिन पाकिस्तान का रुख जैसा सकारात्मक होना चाहिए वो नहीं रहा है। ये बहुत ही दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण रहा है। तो शायद इस सोच के आधार पर उन्होंने कहा होगा कि भारत में यदि मजबूत सरकार यदि रहेगी तो शायद ये पाकिस्तान को अच्छा नहीं लगा होगा। शायद इस सोच के आधार पर उन्होंने कुछ कहा होगा।
The opposition is seeing his comment as an attempt to communalize the ongoing elections in Bihar. RJD chief Lalu Prasad called Shah's remark an insult to the people of the state.
अमित शाह नरभक्षी जो है, भाजपा का जो अध्यक्ष है, ये बिल्कुल पागल हो गया है। ये पूरे बिहारी लोगों को इसने अपमानित किया है। बिहार की जनता इन लोगों को धूल चटा दिया है हम लोगों ने।
The Congress too was swift to take on Amit Shah on the issue. Former Finance Minister P. Chidambaram mocked Shah's remark on Twitter. If BJP loses in Bihar, there will be celebrations and relief among many others, writers, scientists, historians and moderate citizens.
गलती से तो हम बीजेपी को हरा नहीं सकते हैं, सही उनको हरा सकते हैं और हराएंगे और हरा रहे हैं। और जबकि वो कहते हैं कि पाकिस्तान में पटाखे बजेंगे, मैं उनसे कहना चाहता हूं कि बीजेपी हार गई तो हिंदुस्तान में पटाखे निकाले जाएंगे।
JDU General Secretary KC Tyagi and AICC Chief Spokesperson Randeep Surjewala met the Chief Election Commissioner Naseem Zaidi over the issue. But not before the BJP top brass reached the Election Commission office and filed a complaint against the Grand Alliance, accusing it of communalizing the Bihar elections.
दो चीजें तय हैं, एक तो बीजेपी हार रही है, दूसरा दिवाली हिंदुओं में मनाई जाती है, मुसलमानों में नहीं। उनकी जानकारियां भी कम हैं। नंबर 3, ये बिहार के पिछड़े दलितों और गरीबों का अपमान है, जिनको पाकिस्तान के साथ आप इक्वेट कर रहे हो।
Addressing a rally in Raxaul on Thursday, Shah had said that crackers will be burst in Pakistan if the BJP loses in Bihar. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television. Well, Sanjeev Verma, news coordinator of the Telegraph, is still with me on the program. Sanjeev, as far as this particular issue is concerned, the opposition parties have taken severe dislike to what Amit Shah has said, and they've complained to the Election Commission as well. The Election Commission has taken cognizance of the matter. But do you think the star campaigners really, who are making these inflammatory speeches and going out and speaking in this particular manner, are worried too much about the Election Commission?
Look, the Election Commission works with a method. It has its own mechanism. It seeks reports, it analyzes the facts, then it asks explanation from the person against whom allegations have been leveled, and then based on the reply of the person concerned, the commission takes a call. As far as this whole discourse is concerned, Pakistan getting a place in Indian election is really unfortunate. I mean, it cannot be justified. If you look back at 2014 elections, general elections, one of the BJP leaders, Giriraj Singh, had made a Pakistan remark. It was totally uncalled for. What Mr. Shah said was totally uncalled for. We are in a democratic system. There would be supporters, there would be opponents, bound to be. But supporters of a particular political alliance cannot be likened with the Pakistan people. It is a kind of slur on people who support a particular alliance. It cannot be justified. And it is very unfortunate that Pakistan is coming into play in an Indian election.
But do you think on the ground it's going to have any kind of an impact on the voter itself? Is the voter going to be moved by such words? I'm not just talking about Amit Shah's words, but even other star campaigners, be it the Grand Alliance or any other alliance, of course. Or do you think that the voter is smart enough to see through some of these comments that are being made by the politicians and at the end of the day, vote for what they feel is right?
I personally feel that leaders don't think that voters are smart enough. Had they believed in the smartness of voters, they would not have raised meaningless issues right from the beginning. If you see the pattern of the kind of issues being raised, reservation. Now tell me, there is no tinkering with reservation. It is there, but it has become an issue. Even serious political leaders who have with sober image are raking up the issue. Then came the beef. I mean, these kind of had leaders believed that voters are smart enough, they would not have rigged up these issues. They still think that voters can be taken for a ride by touching up their sentiments and by mobilizing them on all kind of nonsense issues.
Indeed. And as far as what's likely to happen, tomorrow, let's talk about tomorrow's fourth phase of polling and take the discussion a little further. What do you think is likely to happen? Are we expecting to see a high voter turnout as well? And which way do you see it going tomorrow?
In case of Bihar, 60%, if the voting percentage is 55% plus, it is considered to be good. Reason being, a good number of Biharis reside outside this state. Their names continue in the voters list, but they don't stay. So naturally, such kind of voters would not turn up to cast their votes. Plus, density of population in Bihar is very high.
Indeed.
So all the voters, number of voters per booth goes high. So, and there, for casting one vote, you need some time. And you have limited hours of voting. So percentage, if it crosses 55, it should be considered healthy in case of Bihar.
All right, we'll have to leave to that. Sanjeev Verma, thank you so much for joining us on the program and putting things into perspective for us on several of those issues that we discussed here on Verdict 2015. Moving on now, ahead of polling for the fourth phase, our correspondent Shishir Choube spoke exclusively to Home Minister Rajnath Singh in Patna. Let's listen in to what he had to say.
पहले जानना चाहूंगा कि क्या उम्मीद कर रहे हैं आप 3 चरण के मतदान देखने के बाद?
नहीं, 3 चरणों के जो मतदान हुए हैं उससे स्थिति स्पष्ट हो चुकी है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी नेतृत्व की एनडीए को स्पष्ट बहुमत इस बिहार विधानसभा चुनाव में हासिल होने जा रहा है।
सबसे ज्यादा जोर जो है युवाओं पे है और महिलाओं पे है जो ज्यादा निकल रही हैं, और खास करके जो हम अति पिछड़ा वर्ग की जो बात कर रहे हैं, एक्स्ट्रा बैकवर्ड क्लास, उन पे भी सबकी नजर है और सभी दोनों दल, वो एनडीए हो या महागठबंधन हो, दावा कर रहे हैं कि हमारे पास उनके मत आ रहे हैं। आपको क्या लगता है, आपका राजनीतिक अनुभव क्या कहता है?
जिन लोगों ने लंबे समय तक यहाँ सरकारें चलाई हैं, उन्हीं लोग, सारी राजनीतिक पार्टियों ने मिलकर अपना एक महागठबंधन यहाँ पर तैयार कर रखा है। बिहार की जनता ये महसूस करती है कि लंबे समय तक इस बिहार में सरकार चलाने के बावजूद इन लोगों ने न तो बिहार की गरीबी की समस्या का समाधान किया, न बेरोजगारी की समस्या का समाधान किया, बल्कि आज भी हमारा बिहार हिंदुस्तान के सर्वाधिक पिछड़े राज्यों की कतार में खड़ा है। तो इसलिए लोग किसी भी सूरत में महागठबंधन के पक्ष में वोट नहीं करना चाहेंगे और न करेंगे। इसीलिए मैं मानता हूं कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी नेतृत्व की एनडीए को बिहार के इस चुनाव में पूरी तरह से बढ़त है।
ड्राइविंग सीट पे आप लोगों ने ही नीतीश कुमार को बैठाया जो 9 साल बिहार में चला है।
क्यों बैठाया? 2005 में ही बैठाया। जनता दल यू हमसे छोटी पार्टी थी,
फिर भी ये मौका दिया गया।
फिर भी इसलिए मौका दिया, बिहार के हितों को ध्यान में रखकर हम लोगों ने मौका दिया। क्योंकि भारतीय जनता पार्टी राजनीति यदि करती है तो केवल सरकार बनाने के लिए नहीं, भारतीय जनता पार्टी राजनीति करती है तो समाज बनाने के लिए, देश बनाने के लिए। हम चाहते थे उस समय कि बिहार को एक अस्थायी सरकार मिलनी चाहिए जो बिहार का विकास कर सके। इसलिए हम लोगों ने फैसला किया कि हम भले ही कोई छोटी पार्टी हो, हम उसको समर्थन दे दें, तो कम से कम ईमानदारी से हम समर्थन तो देते रहेंगे और बिहार को एक अस्थायी सरकार मिल जाएगी।
Well, it's time for a short break now, but our special bulletin on the Bihar elections will continue on the other side. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
आज हमारे साथ हैं खास मेहमान आरजे नेता रघुवंश बाबू। चाहे वो दादरी का मामला हो या फिर मुंबई का मसला हो, उन्होंने कहा कि उनकी सरकार को उसमें कोई हाथ नहीं।
देश में कोई घटना घटे, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का कोई जवाबदेही नहीं है। इस तरह की जवाबदेही से पल्ला झाड़ते हैं।
वो आपके गठबंधन पे आरोप लगा रहे हैं कि हम तो विकास के मुद्दे को बिहार में लाए थे, लेकिन आप लोगों ने जातिवाद को हवा दी है।
लोग जानते हैं कि आरएसएस मालिक है, बीजेपी तो मुखौटा है, तो इसीलिए जरूर खतरा है आरक्षण पर। तो जितने आरक्षणीय लोग हैं, अनुसूचित जाति, जनजाति, पिछड़ी जाति, सभी एक खड़ा हो गए से रे भाई आरक्षण पर हमारा खतरा है।
देखिए तरकश शनिवार रात 8:30 बजे सिर्फ राज्यसभा टीवी पर।
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha Television. Well, one of the earliest martyrs of the Indian freedom struggle, Khudiram Bose, was cremated in Muzaffarpur Local residents say political parties have done little to revere his memory. Here's more.
At 19 years, Khudiram Bose was one of the youngest revolutionaries to be martyred by the British in 1908. More than 100 years later, the Chandwara cremation grounds, where his last rites were conducted, is little better than a garbage heap.
शहर का दुर्भाग्य है कि एक इतिहास पुरुष का जहाँ दाह संस्कार हुआ, जो एक ऐतिहासिक समाधि बननी चाहिए थी वहाँ आज कूड़ा कचरा जमा रहता है.
A few years ago, the local administration built a public toilet. They were torn down after some local youths protested against them. The Khudiram Bose Smarak Samiti laments that political parties want to exploit his name during elections, but do nothing to respect his memory.
नगर निगम का सबसे ज़्यादा दोष है इसमें, क्योंकि ये नगर निगम की ज़मीन है और नगर निगम अभी तक यहाँ के वर्तमान सांसद जो हैं उन्होंने 25 लाख रुपए का राशि यहाँ के सौंदर्यीकरण के लिए दिया था हम लोगों को कि यहाँ सौंदर्यीकरण करो हो, लेकिन ये नगर निगम का ज़मीन है, इसलिए एनओसी अनापत्ति प्रमाण पत्र नगर निगम से चाहिए था, जो नगर निगम अभी तक 2 साल में नहीं दे रही है.
जो सम्मान की रक्षा करने की बात करेगा उसी को हम लोग इस बार जिताएंगे, उसी को वोट देंगे, यहाँ के मोहल्ला वासी भी.
The prison where Khudiram spent his last 3 months is named after him. August 11th is observed as Martyrdom Day, when senior police officers pay homage to him at 4 a.m. in the jail.
कोई उसको राष्ट्रीय स्मारक के रूप में निर्माण कर सके ऐसा कोई प्रयास नहीं कर रहा है. आज वैसे राजनेताओं, वैसे लोगों के चिता स्थल और प्रतिमा, आदमकद प्रतिमा लगाई जा रही है जो समाज में भेदभाव करने वाले रहे हैं.
Khudiram was among the first revolutionaries to plant bombs near police stations to target government officials. The demand for a proper memorial is as old as his death. Ravindra Sharan's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, Purnia division hasn't forgotten the fury of the floods that lashed it in 2008. The gushing waters of Kosi River washed away the railway link to places like Saharsa and Katihar. But so far, even after 7 years, this link hasn't been restored. Here's more.
The Purnia Court railway station. Once a bustling place, it feels empty now. Even the railway officials are missing. Shopkeepers find it hard to make ends meet.
2008 से ही बंद है और जो है बड़ी लाइन के पर्पस से ही इसको बंद किया गया था. बनमनखी और जंक्शन के बीच उसी 2008 से ही गाड़ी बंद हुई और हम लोग यहाँ पर, हम गेटमैन हैं, यहाँ पर थे, हम लोगों को उठा करके सहरसा भेज दिया गया नौकरी के लिए.
Railway tracks washed away by the 2008 floods are still in a state of disrepair, even though work has been going on for the last 7 years. A rail trip from Purnia to Barkhani and Saharsa that used to cost 14 rupees today costs 80, and that too at considerable risk to the passengers.
कम भाड़ा में लोग सहरसा, पटना, भागलपुर चले जाया करते थे. अभी तो सीधा 3 गुना भाड़ा लगता है इससे. अब और हरासमेंट भी ज़्यादा है और गारंटेड कुछ नहीं है. असुरक्षित लोग यात्रा करते हैं.
पहले रेलवे थे तो बहुत सस्ता, हम लोग आराम से पहुंच जाते थे. अब जो बस के चक्कर में बहुत सारा एग्जाम की छूट भी जाती है, बहुत सारा किराया लगता है, समय पे पहुंच नहीं पाते हैं. पहले ट्रेन थी तो बहुत आराम से पहुंच जाते थे.
Political parties refuse to take responsibility for the state of affairs and instead blame each other.
हमारी सरकार और यहाँ हमारे विधायक जो हैं वो जो है सो इसके ऊपर जो है सो चिंतित रहे हैं और अभी जाकर के जो चुनाव होगा और चुनाव के बाद अगर निर्णय हमारे पक्ष में आता है तो निश्चित रूप से उसके ऊपर हम लोग जो है सो काम करेंगे.
लेकिन ईमानदारी पूर्वक ये भारत सरकार का मामला है. इसके सांसद जो थे पूर्व में, उन्होंने ईमानदारी पूर्वक इस पर काम नहीं किया और उनकी विफलता है.
Purnia residents have all but given up hope of seeing any improvement.
7 साल में एक रेल की पटरी और बहुत दूरी तक नहीं भी जब मरम्मत नहीं हो सका, नहीं बिछाया जा सका, तो भगवान मालिक है इस प्रशासन का, चाहे केंद्र का रहे चाहे राज्य का रहे.
Elections are a time for promises. Purnia has seen them broken after the 2010 assembly polls and then again after the 2014 Lok Sabha elections. They are hoping against hope now that 2015 will be different. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, Purnia district in southeastern Bihar, comprising 7 Vidhan Sabha constituencies, once known for its industrial as well as educational prowess, is today among the state's most backward areas. The 7 assembly segments have a mix of BJP, JDU, RJD and Congress MLAs with expectations of strong anti-incumbency factor when polling takes place in the last phase on the 5th of November. Here's a detailed report.
Legend mentions the region as the spiritual home of Mata Puran Devi, hence its name Purnia. Purnia's identity was once its galaxy of literary giants and its prowess as a center of learning. That aura has long faded. Agriculturally, the place had once been recognized for its bumper jute production. That too is on the verge of dying out completely. Today, despite its status as a division headquarter, Purnia is listed among the most backward areas of Bihar. Crumbling infrastructure and zero development here means migration. For many, arising out of a desperate state of affairs, is at an all-time high. This sugar mill is Banmanki area, shut down 25 years ago for want of funds. Every election season, it comes into focus amid promises from politicians of reviving its fortunes and that of the people of the region. Purnia comprises 7 assembly segments: Purnia Sadar, Banmanki, Amor with BJP MLAs, Thamdaha and Ropali with JDU representatives, Kasba with a Congress MLA, and Bayasi with the RJD. All these constituencies of Purnia district go to polls in the 5th and final phase on the 5th of November. A strong anti-incumbency factor among the electorate stands out, even amid tall promises from the political parties. For years, Purnia has seen only promises, elections raising hope of actual work on the ground. And they can only hope that it will be different this time. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
That's it on this edition of Verdict 2015. Have a good day.